Welcome to another episode of DrayZera Uncensored, and we have a very special guest. She is the Worcestershire Poet Gothic Laureate as of June 2016, based on my research at least.
Yes.
You've heard her voice in the background. Here is Suz. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Yes, you
Winspear. Woo! Yeah. Woo! Yeah, Rocket. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, fine. Yes, it's been a strange, wild, hectic time here.
Oh, well, are we talking completely platonically, I hope? But
all
then
poetry, all poetry, all good stuff.
Well, then again, poetry can be X-rated because in DrayZera Uncensored, anything goes. You can say whatever profanity, whatever irregularity, whatever insanity you want to speak of. DrayZera Uncensored, bringing you interviews, hot topics, and my uncensored opinion. Subscribe to DrayZera for all things podcasts, vlogs, spoken word videos, and so much more. Why would you go anywhere else? Indeed. So we're going to be talking to Suz Winspear not only of her poetic career, her poetic life, her gothic diatribes, but just also her love of Visual Kei, my love of Visual Kei, ole, oh yay. Indeed. So let's talk from the beginning. So tell me when you started performing. I mean, for you to rock up this jacket, I'm assuming, did you start performing in the way that you have, or was it an evolution? Tell me the whole story. Give me the whole shebang.
Right. Well, it does actually come out of Visual Kei.
Okay.
I've been
All right.
listening to it, watching the videos, thinking I really want to wear those costumes, have that stage presence, look fantastic. And then I started performing poetry. I thought, I know, I shall do spoken word with a Visual Kei styling. So, it seems to work, and I've been making costumes, acquiring costumes, customizing costumes. And, somehow or other, spoken word with the VK look, it seems to work, and people remember me.
Yeah, I could definitely relate.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still listening.
Right, I wasn't sure if the phone was collapsing or something.
Oh, no worries. There's no phone collapsing. Don't you worry. I'm still alive. I'm still ready to be revived by your beautiful words. Yes, indeed. Yeah, you were mentioning about how Visual Kei has heavily influenced not only you starting the spoken word poetic revolution of yours, but also it's also inspired me a little bit. Well, not just the Visual Kei element, but also Japanese performing style in general. Now, as you know, I've actually been to Japan. I was in Japan. Actually, as of recording this, I was in Japan about this time last year. I was actually in Japan now. I know, right? But of course, without being sarcastic, I'd rather be talking to you on this podcast than being in the land of the rising sun. Yeah, indeed. And what was interesting is that I went to saw a band called Johnny's West in Sendai. Was it Sendai? Yes, it was in Sendai, Japan. It was 3 hours east of Tokyo via bullet train. And what happened was I saw them perform live, and they had such a very interesting stage presence. Now, it wasn't really Visual Kei because they're more J-pop than Visual Kei. It's kind of, let's say, Visual Kei really thrust you hard between the legs, whereas J-pop really gives you a bit of the foreplay, in my opinion. Yes, I have a good way of words. And yeah, when I saw them perform, this was I only performed a couple of times spoken word poetry back then because I only performed 3 or 4 times. I only just started around April. Well, I started in January last year, but by April I probably performed 3 or 4 times. now 104 performances later, I can happily say that Visual Kei and the Japanese and the Asian style of how they dress has definitely inspired. I mean, when you first met me back in the Worcestershire, the Worcestershire literature, Worcestershire literature, Worcester Lit Fest, that's the one. I've performed so many places, I apologise. In Worcester Lit Fest, it was back in February the 9th. Yes, February the 9th on a Thursday. Yes, when I came in some sort of like slightly quasi-gothic, kind of cyber-gothic, and you're like, what the hell is this? Somebody is trying to stand up to my dressing standards. What is this?
Yes, I was surprised, yes.
Indeed.
Especially when you started getting into costume and came out in your full regalia with the shoes.
Oh yeah.
Shoes.
Oh yeah, my light up shoes, yeah, indeed. Yeah. It's very fascinating because you see, Visual Kei is quite still of an unknown entity within this country. I mean, in France it's so much more popular. And in Germany too, but in here it's kind of a quiet subject. Like, for example, one of the reasons why the Gazette, the Japanese band that you know very well, my favourite Japanese band, one of my favourite bands, like hell, every day I wear the Gazette wristband on my right arm. Interestingly, they don't perform in the UK. They only performed once or twice many moons ago, but they don't perform there simply because the tax system here means that anyone performing abroad, they have to pay a bit more extra tax than, let's say, France, Germany, etc. Brexit doesn't help, and also the fact that they don't have they do have the fan base, but whether about venue spacing, they might not fill out arenas, whereas in France they really heavily sold. It was jam packed, tens of thousands of people were at Le Zénith in Paris. It was amazing, and it was absolutely stellar. And
yes, not many bands do come over and perform in the UK.
No, although ex-Japan though, they know how to treat you well.
I mean, a couple of years ago, I went to see Camisho.
Okay.
The thing with Versailles, performing in London, and there were about 200 people in the audience. I mean, back in Japan, you can attract whole stadiums.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It was nice because it was sort of intimate type of gig, and they would get really close to the stage. But I was sort of amazed that there weren't more people. This is one of the great superstars of VK.
Oh, absolutely. It's very interesting, and also what's also very fascinating is that Visual Kei has really taken off in Sweden.
Oh yeah.
Because what's interesting is that I've done some research earlier in the year. It does help when you write a lot of performing stuff and edit videos right in front of your TV screen that can have PS4 and YouTube. I saw quite a few Swedish Visual Kei bands that like Distrain, for example. They speak English, but they speak in Japanese as well. It's like, whoa. And and the Japanese fangirls are not trying to be slightly racially insensitive, but in Japan, the paler you are, the more sexier they go. Oh, so Suz, you're in for a treat if you ever go to Japan.
Oh yeah, but there are a lot of good Swedish bands performing the VK style.
Indeed, yeah, and
Batar particularly.
Oh yeah, Batar, who, if anyone's a massive Tekken fan, they've done some tracks for Tekken 7, which will be coming very soon. And just to clarify, we at DrayZera Uncensored, we are no way affiliated by Namco. Namco are not sponsoring us for the podcast, but I wish they would. I would be all down on that shizzle. So, Namco, if you are bizarrely listening to this podcast, then, hit DrayZera up at DrayZeraCreative@gmail.com.
Yes.
And if you want Suz Winspear to perform in the land of the rising sun, then check her out as well. Yeah, indeed.
Yes, I'm easily found.
Yeah, so much so. Another thing I want to quickly chat about while we come back to Visual Kei in a bit is I typed in your name in IMDb, and you actually showed up in a documentary.
Oh, the boar's head.
Yes, a document. Yes, the Boar's Head documentary in 2013,
Yes.
and yes, you're in it. So explain to me about that. I mean, I'm like, what the hell is this?
Oh, well, the boar's head is a venue in Kidderminster.
Okay.
Great local music scene. There was also spoken word events, and there were arts events and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Going on, and this documentary was put together literally to document the scene. And I did one of my poems, Uninvited, and that was a great day. Sort of guerrilla filming around Worcester.
Oh, neat. This is the only thing. Have you been? I know you've been in music videos as well, but with this, 2013, man, this was 4 years ago. Yeah. I was wondering also, curiously speaking, I never asked during the initial question. What year did you actually start performing poetry?
Well, I've been writing all my life.
I see. So all 25 years of that, yeah?
Something like that, yeah.
Yes, yep, absolutely. I'm in good books, people. Go on.
And I did some performances quite some time ago, but there wasn't really the spoken word scene such as there is now.
Oh, no.
And then really kept on writing, but came back to performing in 2011.
Oh, man, 2011, my days. That feels like an eternity.
Yes, when a monthly event called 42 started up. That's sort of genre night, science fiction, fantasy, poetry, horror, all sorts of styles of performance. And the first 42, I was the first person on. I don't think anyone quite knew what to expect from me. Just wondered who this strange-looking person was.
Just so you know, people, she's not strange. She is beautiful. Anyway, carry on.
And I had something like a 20-minute slot, which was remarkably long.
Oh, yeah.
And I managed to do two prose pieces and one poem. And it just all kicked off from there. You know, people saw me, noticed me, invited me to do things.
Yeah.
And it's just mushroomed from that one night. 24th of March it was.
Was that was the day after my 21st birthday as well.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. And so since then also, did you also take inspiration from? I did a bit of a research as well. Also, more research. Apparently, do you work in a disused church, or you live in a disused church?
I live in a disused church.
My God, I want to go round your house. Man, that is so awesome.
Yeah, got the carved Gothic columns and the windows and. Well, you know, it's the sort of environment you'd expect, really.
Oh wow! I mean, you know the Gothic Whitby Festival. You don't need the Whitby Festival. You need your house, man. You know what I mean? That's awesome. My days.
Every day is a Gothic festival for me.
Oh wow! You know what? I definitely want to go around your house and and not only just check it out, but it seems like an awesome place to shoot spoken word videos as well.
Oh yes.
I mean, you know me, like, I upload YouTube every single day, and that includes 3 spoken word videos a week, and I'm always looking for different and unique locations as well, and that does sound an amazing, unique location. And speaking of uniqueness, you've had your first poetry collection published in 2013. Oh man, 2013 is where it all hit off for you, eh? I Do Not Need a New Obsession. Now, with that title and all that, what was your inspiration in that? What is the thinking behind the title and the poems in that book?
It's just an accumulation of what I reckon were my best poems to that date, really. No, it wasn't that deeply thought out. But I knew that one, I Do Not Need a New Obsession, had to be the title poem, because it just did.
I see. And also, you can still buy it online for £4.50.
Yes. You can get it from Amazon or Lulu.
Yeah, I'm on the Lulu link.
To spoken word events, I'll flog it to you for £4.
Neat. And also interesting. I love this this little blurb here. A selection of poetry by Suz Winspear, Worcester's Gothic poetry diva.
Yes.
What a title! I have to say, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And also, it's interesting that also that you've said in the quotation that the article that you became the Worcestershire's poet laureate. You said here, and I quote, "As for being goth is what I am, and it gives me visual impact in performance, and to have a goth poet laureate does show to the world that poetry isn't just for middle class, comfortably off mainstream folks," with an exclamation mark.
Yes.
Yeah, I can relate. I am definitely not middle class. Well, am I? I don't know. I don't think I really am. I don't act like one, at least. I don't act like, oh my. I don't.
No.
I don't think. I think I feel a bit of Edgar Allan Poe upon my Allen mode.
But yeah, it's always been, I suppose, one of my things. Poetry should be accessible.
Oh yeah.
Understandable. You know, people who think they don't like poetry, and once they've actually heard it, then they realise they do like it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've been doing some broadcasts on BBC Hereford and Worcester, which seem to be going down well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I want spoken word to reach out to new audiences and different people. Because I think a lot of people are put off poetry by schools.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
And
the anthologies.
Way of teaching, and I suppose I have a sense that it doesn't touch their lives. It's nothing to do with them, and it doesn't sort of welcome them in. And what I want to do is just to show that everybody can enjoy poetry.
Oh yeah.
It isn't just for the elite.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for me, in addition to what you say, I find poetry and performing spoken word in general as a way to break down barriers rather than build barriers, and that is something that I wholeheartedly strive for. Because for me, people in my town, for example, and other parts of the country. As you know, I like tour all around the country, nearly more or less all the time, as you may have.
All the places you get to.
But what I do is basically I'm like I call myself a poetry whore, in that I have to look at random locations that I probably never tried before, and also places that I haven't been in a while. Like, for example, February already seems like a long time since I've been in the land of Worcester. And
you seem to have been all over the place since then.
Oh yeah, I mean, Performance 100 was in flipping Eastbourne, and I've never been anywhere near Brighton before in my life. And that was a great experience. I mean, do you perform all around the country yourself? I don't actually know.
Not really, because I'm sort of limited by transport and the fact that I've still got to hold down a day job, and it sort of gets difficult to sort of travel and stay anywhere else for any length of time.
I see, I follow you. Well, I think the trickiest for me is that I have a 0-hour contract job. and also for me, I literally just what I do is, simply put, I'm just I'll just literally just head off and just do my thing.
Yes.
Just that's how I do my thing, basically. I don't know. It's just, I suppose for me, it's just a matter of just doing it, and I guess it's a lot like what you do already, like doing all the Hereford stuff or being the Worcester Poet Laureate. Actually, speaking of that, a question. Since you've been the laureate, what added responsibilities have you had since literally being the laureate?
Oh, well, it's all sorts of extra things to do. I've started doing sort of radio broadcasts and pieces in local magazines.
Yeah.
I've been organising events. We did one the other week, the Poetry Ballroom.
Yeah.
Something I wanted when becoming laureate, was to sort of celebrate living, creative culture in Worcestershire, because for a long time it always feels as though Worcester is promoting its heritage and forgets that there are living artists here. And without living artists in 100 years' time, there isn't going to be any heritage to celebrate.
Oh, absolutely.
And that was sort of the remit of my laureateship, and also to bring artists from different disciplines, different art forms together. Yeah. Because it often feels that we're all performing our own little bubble, and we don't really reach out beyond our own audience.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, for the Poetry Ballroom, I decided to bring poetry and dance together.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Fest.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing evening of spoken word and contemporary dance, and poems inspired by dance, and dances inspired by poetry. And
yeah, I mean,
that was like the defining event of my laureateship, and I was actually delighted the way it went.
Absolutely, and that's awesome. Like, I mean, I'll tell you what, right? That was one of the events I really wanted to go to, but like, it's a mixture of circumstance. Like, this is the one bad side of me performing everywhere, is that I miss out on events like these. Indeed, and that's the sad thing about it. I mean, I'll tell you what. Also, this is not only just for the Suz Winspear Appreciation podcast, but this is also you can shout out any future events as well, like because this will be coming out Saturday this week. So any future events, you've got the massive festival during the summer, haven't you?
Yes, we've got Litfest itself. Starts on the 9th of June. 9th
of June. Ooh, how long does it run for?
9 days. I'll just reach and grab me paperwork, which, by a weird coincidence, happens to be just over here.
You see, somebody in your body is telling you, I must have all the notes right here. Yes.
Yes, it starts off on the 9th.
Yep.
And that is when I hand over my laureateship to the next poet laureate.
No!
We do not know who the next poet laureate is going to be.
Oh, man.
Because it's only a 1-year thing.
Fair enough.
Although, out of this 1 year, I've got a lot of things that shall be continuing.
Okay.
And, it's sort of galvanised my career to a large extent.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it starts on the 9th. And then it goes on. The final day is Sunday the 18th.
Okay,
I see. So it's 9 days.
I see. That's really, really awesome. I mean, if anyone wants to go down to Worcester's Lit Fair, literally, I mean, I'll tell you what, Worcester, the event, as you know, I performed everywhere, Moonlight Army. Worcester's one of my favourite places to perform, not just for one of the hottest hosts around, such as Suz Winspear, that I'm chatting to on the other side. So as you can tell, I'm chatting in front of her, not behind her back. Cough, cough. But yes, yes, Moonlight Army. Honestly speaking, honestly, you gotta check it out. I mean, you're gonna have so many performers. Hell, who knows? Yeah. Could I be there? I don't know. Oh.
Worcester has a very friendly atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely. Oh man, I mean, I felt so loved being there. Like no lies. Absolutely. Yeah. So tell me, after being the poet laureate after June, I know June, even though it's been creeping up, it's been 2 months away till you have to hand it over. What is the future for Suz? I mean, do you want to? Because for me, somebody like yourself, like I get a massive kick about performing everywhere. I want you to go everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, that will be fun. That'll be good. I'm, as well as being the poet laureate, I'm also the poet in residence at the Worcester Porcelain Museum.
Oh, okay.
And that continues for another year.
Okay.
So, that will be going on. And I don't know what will come up next. All sorts of possibilities.
I mean, I'll say this for all those that are listening right now. What? Tell me this. What does a poet in residence mean for all those that are like, hey, what this?
You don't actually have to be there all the time. They do let you go home. But yeah, it's just to go in and produce work inspired by the place in which you are the poet in residence.
Oh, right.
And I've done a whole sequence of poems, mostly about the workers at the porcelain factory.
Yeah.
And, you know, just ordinary working class Worcester people with fantastic skill, artistry and talent, producing this amazing porcelain. And yeah, it's something of a celebration of these people whose names have pretty much been lost, but who created amazing things.
Absolutely, and that's absolutely awesome. I mean, yeah, I want to check that out as well. I mean, like for me, I'll be honest with you, right? This is coming very strange from me, but the way that I perform and the way that I market myself, I sort of like. This is a slight insight about me. The way I perform, I sort of I don't think about stuff like poets in residence or like, because there's so many different like pathways in spoken word and that, and also like sending submissions for stuff. I know this sounds a bit rich from me because even though even though I've got the Poetry Rivals book is that I've actually like got myself published in, is actually going to be in people's hands very, very shortly. I know, right? I don't actually really send submissions that much.
No, actually, neither do I. I feel I ought to submit more, but it's just that I should do so many performances that somehow it's the writing and the performing that get priority.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And for me, like, and also with my book coming out in 2 months. I know, right? My first ever book ever, Broken Circuit Board. Yeah, actually, that's a reminder. Broken Circuit Board was the opening poem that I did at the Worcester thing. Actually, I just remembered. Yeah.
Yes.
It's the one that I literally like walked in and literally literally to make sure that I'm all within time. Screw going to the microphone. I start now. Oh man, that was awesome. Yeah. I mean, literally, it's one of those where for me, I just it's been, honestly, it's a dream come true for me. And you know, like, I'll tell you this, like, because like me, like yourself, I've been writing since most of my life, and it's a dream for something of your own to be actually on bookshelves and be available worldwide. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, from that point on, I got a lot of plans afterwards, but of course, this is DrayZera Uncensored, and this is the Suz Winspear Appreciation Hour, so I'm going to be hush-hush about that. I've got a lot of plans, but hush-hush-lush. Yeah. So tell me then, I mean, since you've become the Poet Laureate, and during your poetic life, before that, can I be honest in asking, have you felt a bit empty beforehand? If that makes sense. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, before poetry, do you even remember yourself before poetry, if that makes sense?
Not really, because I probably started writing when I was about 6.
I see, but I mean in terms of performing, being on stage, you know what I mean? Before that, did you feel...
I've always loved performing.
Yeah.
I did a lot of... Well, part of my degree was in drama, and I mean... And after that, I still spent quite a long time writing theatre history.
I see.
And, so, performance, things theatrical, have always been there.
Indeed.
And, when I wasn't performing, I certainly missed it and really wanted to be performing. And once I got the opportunity to perform my spoken word, that was absolutely That was absolutely perfect for me.
Were you ever nervous when you started?
Not really, no.
Oh man, that's what I love to hear.
Excited.
That's what I love to hear. Yeah, yeah, because a lot of people that start, interestingly, a lot of performers are actually quite naturally introvert. I'm not trying to be stereotypical here, but because a lot of writers tend to be enclosed, stay at home. Oh, don't know whether I should perform this. Oh, good. You know what I mean? I just like go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's gotten me into trouble, but 99% of the time it's been great.
Yes, I mean, I don't know, I'm probably a bit peculiar. It's like half the time I'm a recluse and half the time I'm a party animal.
Ooh, I like that. I think that's the best way to be because let's be fair. I mean, I mean, we have to have a reclusive kind of stage because for us to create what we create, we have to be right. Right.
Yes.
Right. I have to stop having sex with you right now. I need to start writing my.
Yes.
Not that that's ever happened to me. No. Cough. Cough. No. No. Never at all. No. No. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, there are times where I just sort of disappear and sort of won't go out or answer the phone or communicate with anyone really, apart from a few likes on Facebook.
Yeah, we do love a few likes on Facebook. Hell yeah.
And
yeah.
then I sort of turn into this wild thing when I'm on stage.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Wild thing. Indeed. Right. So I'll tell you what. Yeah. To close it off, do you have a poem to share with us in what I call the poetry in bed #it poem of the week? Even though, ironically, you were actually you've already been a poem of the week. Actually, I think you submitted one actually a few episodes ago on my podcast. Actually, am I right? I can't remember. Yes. So you're in again, and but this time you get to perform whatever you want to perform. You can swear as much as you want in the poem, whatever you want. Go for it.
No, this is not a sweary poem. This is quite a cheerful seasonal poem.
Woo!
Because it feels a lot of the time it feels as though things are quite dark in the outside world with all the various political things and all the dreadful stuff that's going on. But occasionally you get a little glimpse of something's better than that.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure we've all seen that photo that's gone viral of the ghastly English Defence League event in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And this wonderful rummy Muslim girl just staring at this thug with a sort of bemused smile on her face. And that's one of the things, that image just made me feel so happy. I had the strength of her. And the fact that she was giving this ghastly man a just nice sort of bemused smile.
A sort of piece of her mind, but without saying anything, essentially.
Yeah. And I live in a part of Worcester which is the most culturally diverse bit of the entire city.
Oh, neat.
And I absolutely love it here. It's an area called the Arboretum.
Ooh, that sounds like I need to check that out. Yeah, go on.
And it's a great part of Worcester. It's got more of quite a community sense to it. And also a sense that it's a place where, since everybody looks different from one another, nobody particularly cares. I know I can walk all over the Arboretum at any time of day and night in full performance costume.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get any nasty reactions. This is a little poem. It's actually in the collection. I do not need a new obsession. I wrote one Sunday night, literally just looking out my window and watching what was going on.
Yeah.
It's called The Party in the Next Street Down.
All right.
And just bring it back to memory. Ready?
I am ready. Are you ready, Moonlight Army? Of course you are.
Of course they are. Right, this is the party in the next street down. There's a party in the next street down. There is music in the garden, and they dance beneath the streetlights. Yes, they dance beneath the streetlights, and they sing in foreign accents to the music in the garden at the party in the next street down. Cameras flash, and cigarettes illuminate the garden while they dance beneath the streetlights. Still they dance beneath the streetlights as the cameras flash and cigarettes illuminate the garden in the party in the next street down. Come and celebrate the springtime at the party in the garden. And yes, dance beneath the streetlights, always dance beneath the streetlights. And please sing in foreign accents to the music in the garden in the party in the next street down.
Oh, is that the end, by the way?
Yes.
Just want to double check. I don't want to interrupt your poem. Woo! Yeah!
No, it's only a short one.
Oh, I see. Short and sweet.
It's one of those that I've got in my memory.
Ah, neat. Yeah. I'll tell you this, by the way. My writing output so much. I feel like I need to start memorizing you poems. Literally, yeah. That's literally it, man. Oh, my goodness.
I don't have all that many committed to memory. It tends to be those with either strong rhyme schemes or like that one with like a strong structure to it.
I always find that when I perform poems that I know by memory, the certain hand gestures and physical gesticulations that you do, it helps as well. Like
yes, that is absolutely true.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, so tell me this. Final words then. Give us all the shout outs possible for everything Worcester.
Oh, everything Worcester.
Take your time.
This is coming out Saturday, isn't it?
Yes.
Right, well, we've got 42 is coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah.
That is our genre night. Anything, you can probably find everything on the LitFest website or Facebook page.
Which I'll link as well on this podcast. Ding-ding-a-ling.
Yes, we've got 42 coming up at the end of the month. It's always the last Wednesday.
The last Wednesday of the month. That would be the 26th.
Yes, that sounds about right.
26th. I'm actually free that day. Should I make a random appearance?
Really? Why not?
How long would sets be? If anyone wants a randomly open mic or whatever, how long are sets usually?
About 5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes.
But the slots do tend to go for that, so you need to contact them.
I see. I may actually inquire. Ooh, I may actually inquire for this. I have missed performing Worcester. See, Moonlight Army? We're doing it right now. See, this is how excited I am. I want to definitely get back to the Worcester land, baby.
Yeah.
Indeed. Carry on.
And Speakeasy, which is a poetry night.
That's the one that I went to.
That's the one you went to. That's the second Thursday.
Yep.
Of the month.
Which will be the next one after this will be the 9th of May.
Yes, that sounds about it.
Yep.
Something like that.
Absolutely. Anything else?
Well, as I said, LitFest itself. Worcestershire's Literature Festival begins the 9th of June, ends the 18th of June. Find us on the Facebook page. Find the LitFest website. All the details will be coming out at the end of the month. And there are all sorts of things that I know of that are lined up. A few things yet to be finalised, but it's going to be a nice 9 days.
Oh, yes.
Good stuff.
Oh, yes. That sounds lush.
Yes.
Right, Moonlight Army. This is DrayZera, and this has been... This is a bit worrying. This is... you're still here, yeah?
Yes, can you give me your name?
Oh, yeah, I was wanting you to say your name.
Oh, right. I see, right. Okay.
Go for it.
From the top.
Okay, from the top. By the way, this will be all unedited, so it's all great. So, Moonlight Army, this is DrayZera, and this is...
This is Suz Winspear.
And you have been listening to DrayZera Uncensored.
Yay!
Okay. DrayZera Uncensored, bringing you interviews, hot topics, and my uncensored opinion. Subscribe to DrayZera for all things podcasts, vlogs, spoken word videos, and so much more. Why would you go anywhere else?